So now, what is up, everybody? It is Will I Am, and welcome back to a brand new video. Now, today I am going to be doing something pretty different. It is a child's play movie tier list. So you see here, I got every single Chucky movie here. We got S tier, we got A tier, we got B tier, we got C tier, and we got D tier. This is going to be a new series. I'm going to see how this works. I'm going to see how it does in numbers of views and stuff like that. So yeah, um, I'm going to move my face cam here. Let's put it over this ad. Screw you, ad. You're not getting any money. Now, as you see, there's all 8 Chucky movies there. I've seen them all. I've binged them all. I have a basic idea of what they all are. Now, obviously, you all know how tier list videos work. This is going to be a new style of content. Without further ado, without me rambling on, I'm going to get into the tier list here. Starting off with Child's Play, I will say it's a very solid movie. It got a little bit boring in the beginning and the middle, but as soon as Chucky started going all over the place and started killing people, I gotta say it started becoming more interesting. Um, some of the kills, while not on the gory side, was still pretty memorable, and the whole mystery of whether Andy's the killer or Chucky himself is the killer was pretty well done. The whole Charles Lee Ray getting his soul into Chucky's body there, that seemed pretty interesting as well. The only flaws, I guess, it looked pretty cheesy, but then again, for a movie made in 1988 to try to make a doll move in real life, I mean, you got to give them some credit. Plot was pretty decent as well. Acting was pretty cool as well. So yeah, if I were to say what tier it will go on, I should put it around A tier. The original Child's Play should be in A tier because it created a pretty iconic character in Chucky and all the things that I just mentioned. Child's Play 2, in my opinion, was very much better than the original Child's Play. It brought Chucky out immediately. There was no waiting towards the middle or the climax. The kills were way more memorable in this than they were in the last one. Yeah, you know, the whole third act with the whole toy factory there and everything, the whole foster home thing as well in Child's Play 2, I thought it was pretty well done. And Andy coming back, you know, what more can't you love? So for that, I'm actually putting Child's Play 2 in the S tier category. Now we're at Child's Play 3. This is where I guess the series was trying to bring some fresh content. I mean, Andy was in a military school and everything, and towards the whole beginning and middle, it just seemed like a big ripoff of Full Metal Jacket and everything. You had the douchey drill sergeant, you had all the drill thingy bombs. They even quoted the movie where it's like, "This is my rifle, this is my gun," everything like that. It just wasn't really that interesting. The kills though were pretty good. The Chucky one-liners got me laughing. You know, um, the whole climax was pretty fun to watch. Chucky getting half his face ripped off, looking like a Two-Face, looked pretty cool as well. If I were to decide a ranking, I would actually put it around around a B or a C. I'm gonna put it on B tier because while it did seem to be a ripoff of Full Metal Jacket, at least it tried bringing something new, and the whole climax was pretty good to watch as well. And also, not not trying to put his soul into Andy's body this time. He tried putting it in another kid, so doing something new. Bride of Chucky just now we're on Bride of Chucky, and a lot of people like it, a lot of people hate it. I'm around the middle territory. Um, it seemed like they were going more for a comedy than instead of a horror, while there were still kills and everything, and while they brought a new character called named Tiffany, who would have a big impact on the series going forward. I just didn't think comedy really belongs in horror. I'd probably say the same thing about the Scream franchise there. Yeah, Um, I thought the main characters were pretty forgettable, pretty not believable. The kills were somewhat memorable. Um, the plot easily forgettable. There were some plot holes, like apparently you need an amulet to transfer your souls into human bodies, even though Chucky tried for like 3 movies to put his soul into a human body and he didn't have the amulet. So if he knew that he needed that amulet, why go through all that trouble in the last 3 movies unless he just figured it out? If I were to decide a ranking, I'll put it. Screw it, I'll put it in B because it was still somewhat decent. But the plot was not really that good. I mean, the ending kind of was. Seed of Chucky, everyone knows this. It belongs in the D category. Easily the most forgettable, the less consequential. Nothing really happens in that movie. I mean, they had a son, but or a daughter. They had the gender issues and everything, but uh, there was no horror whatsoever. There was like kills, but there weren't too many. Um, yeah, I just don't understand who really pitched this movie. I just don't get it. It definitely was not an improvement. So anyone who watched the Chucky series would know that Seed of Chucky belongs in D tier, 100%. Now we're on to not Bride, Curse of Chucky. It brought the horror back. It had a new look. It wasn't like it was done cheaply. It had like if you've ever seen like a 2013 horror movie, it brought all that back. It was in like a gothic house. The camera quality looked pretty good. The characters were memorable. The kills were gory as all hell. I remember when I first saw the movie in 2013 when I was 10 years old. I didn't think it was that good, but now when I looked back on it, when I rewatched the series, I thought it was absolutely cool. The only problem I really had was the Charles Lee Ray origin story, but other than that, I had no problems with the movie whatsoever. Curse of Chucky is an A. Oh, and also it brought back the whole mystery aspect of the family not knowing if Chucky was the murderer or there was another murderer. So yeah, it was still pretty cool. Cult of Chucky uh, is a direct sequel to Curse. You had Nika, the woman in the wheelchair, be transferred into a mental hospital or psychiatric hospital, whichever one you want to call it. But the characters are easily one of the most forgettable characters in a horror movie. And as a matter of fact, I don't even remember all the characters' names aside from Nika, Chucky, Andy, and everything. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Andy came back, Tiffany came back, and even then, it was the original actor for Andy, so it wasn't like the teenager from Child's Play 3 and everything. So that was a nice touch. Um, there were multiple Chuckies running around, which I didn't really get, and as a matter of fact, still don't get. Um, yeah, I mean, some of the kills were pretty cool, but the whole plot and everything, it took a little while. He finally possessed his soul in Anika's body, you know, but there was a cliffhanger ending, and then after that, not even like what, 2 years or a year later, there was a remake being made. So I don't think we'd really get to see what the ending was, because Nika's in, Charles Lee Ray's in Nika's body, and he's reunited with Tiffany, and then there's some other person in a Tiffany doll, and you're wondering, well, whose soul's in that? It, it's a the ending was a huge mess, but and the characters were forgettable. But it wasn't as bad as Seed, though. It's like I definitely rewatched this movie. The visuals were kind of cool as well, and like I said, the core, not the core. I meant to say gore and kills, but yeah, pretty much the kills and the gore were pretty cool as well, but definitely not as good as the movies above. So Cult of Chucky is, but it's not as bad as C, definitely. So Cult of Chucky is worth a C tier, which means we have every Chucky movie in a tier aside from the last one, and that is Child's Play 2019. This is one of the horror reboots that actually was not that bad. They went for something new instead of a serial killer in a good guy doll. They went for a AI doll that could kind of control your household appliances, like a TV and everything. I don't know what that was in the background. Ignore all that. And the motives kind of like the AI was screwed up or something when they made the doll and everything. Um, I gotta say it was a definite improvement when it came to horror reboots because you saw with like the Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Scream TV series and everything. They were all complete messes, but this one wasn't really. Like this was definitely worth a rewatch, and on its own, I bet it could make a pretty cool franchise. But yeah, definitely worth a rewatch, and I actually had a good time when I seen this in theaters. This was the only Chucky movie I was able to see in theaters. So Child's Play 2019 is worth, I'm going to say, a B tier. Okay, I'm just going to drag that so it's in order of the series. So a recap, Child's Play 2 in the S tier, Child's Play and Curse of Chucky in the A tier, Child's Play 3, uh, Bride of Chucky and Child's Play Remake is in the B tier, Cult of Chucky in the C tier, and Seed of Chucky in the D tier. So that's going to have to do it for my Child's Play tier list. Obviously, this was based off my opinion. You guys might have a different opinion than me. So please leave in the comments your ranking of the Child's Play series down below. So, yeah, definitely more content like this. I'm trying to bring more content now that I have more resources to make videos at home aside from my library like I did a few years ago. So yeah, be sure to like, subscribe, turn notifications on, leave in the comments, of course, your ranking of the Child's Play franchise and what tier lists or whatever videos you want me to do next. And yeah, that's gonna have to do it. This has been Will YM, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.